Hey everyone. Okay, so this is the second episode of the Whiskerina Ideal, a series where we interview the Whiskerinas that participate in the facial hair competitions. Today we are interviewing Tisha Clickenbeard. She is out of Texas and she runs a podcast as well. You want to tell us about your podcast?
Oh, sure. The Monday Night Battles. So we have every other Monday night we have a craft beard. It's called Chopped Craft Beards Battle, and we have folks come in that have volunteered. We have two competitors. They get a box, and the box is filled with identical items. Then they use those items to make a craft beard in 1 hour. And of course, we have some rules of engagement, but each of the boxes have to be identical. And we've actually had some really great beards come out of it and some really great competitors going with it.
Yeah, I've seen some of the finished products and they all look like I don't know if I can do that in an hour.
I know for sure I can't. It's a way too intimidating for me.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, as you can tell, I'm from Texas, so big howdy.
Mm.
And I live right outside LaGrange, Texas. It's halfway between Houston and Austin. Out in the country, country girl at heart, and president of the Texas Craft Whisker Club, of course, and then a member of the Austin Facial Hair Club and a bearded villains queen. Been bearding myself competitively since CASI 13, which was February of, what was that, 19, I think. And my husband's been bearding since 2016. It took me a while to kind of get the bug, and just found out I enjoyed it, and having the crafting bug, it really bit me, which is unusual because I'm not crafty. But I think that's the gist of it.
So what made you start competing? What finally got you to the point where you were ready to go?
Um, I think it was my husband's encouragement most of all, because I've never been crafty in my life. I am an amateur photographer. I like nature and travel, but I saw all of it up there, and it, like I said, I'm still intimidated, but he really encouraged me to try it. And my first beard I did not like personally. It And of course I didn't place. I didn't expect to. And the outfit was even worse. Oh my gosh. It was kind of embarrassing that I look back on it. Um, and then you interviewed Natalie Johnston, and I met and talked to her in Louisville at Whiskermania that year. And she was extremely encouraging. And so she made me feel like, oh, okay, you can do this. So just decided to go ahead and do it.
That's one thing that I've heard from a lot of people is like after talking to Natalie, she makes you feel like you could kind of do anything.
Yeah, she's very inspiring. And at the same time, she's also made me kind of want to pay it forward. And that was one of the big drivers between when I was encouraged to start the Craft Whisker Club. That was a big driver behind it, is that we really have a community in bearding that's solid and a family, and to have other people that could join that. A lot of the men said, my wife or my girlfriend, they're really crafty, how do I get them to do this? And so those were the big drivers behind it, is paying it forward and really helping people to enjoy the community and bring their spouse or their girlfriend into it as well.
So when you're not building a beard, what do you do for fun?
For fun, my husband and I, of course, spend most of our time together. We love to travel, and we love nature and the outdoors. We just got some kayaks. His arm strength is much greater than mine. And we've got cattle, so we have that piece. But I think those are really the top favorites. I do love photography. I've kind of gotten out of it as heavily as I was before, but I don't like taking pictures of people. So it's all nature and travel.
So do you prefer a realistic style or a fantasy style?
Oh, definitely fantasy. I actually have a central tremor, which my hands shake, and I take medication for it, but it's very challenging already to do some of the creative stuff. And I just do not think I could come across with a very good realistic. That's very intimidating, even more so.
So what's your favorite material you like to use when you're making a beard?
um, I don't know that I really have a favorite because it really depends on the beard that I'm making. In the past, I've used a lot of embroidery mesh. It's the plastic that has the holes in it, and I've used a lot of felt for padding, because one of the first pieces of advice I got was that you have to make sure that whatever you use as your base doesn't rub your face raw. So I've used a lot of felt, and that's really kind of my go-tos on that. Everyone kind of makes fun of me because I have a template for everything. I've got mustache templates, I've got beard templates, and those are usually my starters. If I have that base shape, then I can kind of go with it.
So how long does it usually take you to build a beard?
Gosh, I usually start out 2 to 3 months before a comp on a beard that I'm working on. Worlds, my button beard took me about 3 months. The shortest beard that I've ever built was it was a tribute beard for a woman with cancer, and it took me 4 days, and every bit of that was I was on edge because I was having to remake things, and that's the shortest actual was 4 days on that one.
So what's your favorite beard that you've made so far?
Hands down, it was my beard for nationals. The chops made out of the leather boots. Um, just hands down, it was a learning experience. I'd never worked with actual leather before. Um, there was every bit of it was hand stitched, except the mustache was actually very heavily hot glued onto the frame that went around. It was an actual wire frame. But everything else on that beard was completely hand stitched. So
And what's the furthest that you've traveled for a competition?
I have to agree with Natalie. It's Belgium because we were at Worlds together, and it was truly a great trip. That trip was really the first time I felt like I'd gotten a part of the family, because I had met other people in different places, and I got to meet even more people and make more friends. So that's the furthest one so far.
So do you prefer chocolate or fruity candy?
Um, yes, but hands down, Belgian chocolate is the ultimate. I mean, there's nothing, absolutely nothing to compare with it here in the States.
I agree. Like, I've worked at restaurants where they specifically would get like 10-pound bags of little
Yes.
Belgian chocolate discs, and
It's,
I would take them home. Like, I'd fill up a Ziploc baggie and take them home with me. And before I realized it, I've eaten the entire bag, and my manager's like, "What happened to the chocolate?"
yeah, I have no idea it melted in my mouth. But yes, we ended up when we were in Belgium, we rationed the chocolate to so many pieces per day, in all honesty. And I hope my daughter doesn't listen to this, but we kind of ate the chocolate that we bought her when we were in Belgium. So we were at the airport finding some Belgian chocolate to take home to her because we ate all of it.
Did you find a brand that you liked more than the others?
I can't remember what it was because we ate it and didn't keep the box. I remember the box was yellow on the outside, and we actually got it from a store in Antwerpen, but it was really good.
So, do you prefer wine, beer, or hard liquor?
um, I actually became allergic to brewer's yeast in my mid 40s. and I can't drink any alcohol now. So when I did drink, it was certain beers. Shock Top was my favorite. Um, Wines, I loved Cabernet Sauvignons. Rutherford Ranch has an awesome one, and Elena Bodega has an awesome Malbec. Can you tell I miss my alcohol? And then favorite liquor, extra dirty vodka martini, shaken, hands down.
I love a good dirty martini.
You can't beat it,
Like
especially with a good cigar.
yeah, I'm notorious for drinking the leftover juice in the olive and pickle jars.
Yes.
And people just get gross and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" It's like, have you never had a dirty martini?
Yeah, I used to travel every week for work for over 10 years, and wherever I was working, I'd usually find a restaurant or bar that was kind of my norm, and typically they would know extra dirty vodka martini. So one spot in Cleveland, they actually had it ready for me when I arrived.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
service right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what's your favorite trophy that you've won?
I think there are two. And I'll start off saying that is one of the things I absolutely love about competitive bearding is that 99% of the time the trophies are very unique and handmade or thought through to that point. So it is definitely art in addition to the competition. But I have to go with sentimentality. The first trophy I ever won was Beards on the Bay in 2019, and I got first place there. So that was my first trophy. And then I think my next, and maybe my favorite, again for sentimental reasons, is my World's Trophy for third place in creative in Belgium. So those both have sentimental, but all the trophies are cool. So,
But yeah, definitely like having the sentimental value to them. Like I
yes.
have a first place trophy from the first competition I brought my son to.
Oh, cool.
And it's the only one I haven't put into my trophy box and put into storage. It's sitting up on the shelf. So when he's old enough to ask what that is, I can tell him this is the first beard competition you got to go to.
Right. And that dad scored.
Yeah. So who are some of the most memorable people you've met in the facial hair world?
Well, I think memorable to me, I love Nate Johnson. I think he's just a very humble and great guy. Um, I love Aaron and Natalie. Just again, we feel like family. Melissa Crafton and her husband, and I'm going blank on it. She's just a great person. I love spending time with her. Um, I'm gonna leave somebody out, and they're gonna be mad at me. Uh, so one thing I have found at bearding that really humbles me, and I guess you don't realize it, but it's part of being the family, is I've been to competitions and I've spoken to people, talked to people to some extent, or a large extent, and then I get a message or text or something saying, it was really great to get to know you, or you made one person messaged me, you really made my girlfriend feel comfortable, and it was at nationals, by talking to her, throughout the evening, etc. And it's just something you don't think about necessarily, but it humbles you to see that even in the bearding community, just by being ourselves, good people, that we can make a difference in somebody's life and we don't even know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first time I competed against Arnie Bielefeld, like I was like, oh my God, I seen your picture. And he was
Yeah.
like, cool, you want some?
Well, like Alice Jelly, I gotten to know her at Kasi, and then to see her again at Worlds and to compete against her, at Worlds, it was intimidating, but she is also a completely awesome person. So, as far as if somebody that has the awards and so forth, but she was, well, we think people are going to be these superstars attitudes or whatever, but as I said, it's a very humble community with that family feeling. So
Yeah, I interviewed Jeffrey Mustache earlier today, and he was saying like one of the things that he tries to do is treat people like not read books by their cover, because he's had so many people come up to him and be like, dude, I finally get a chance to talk to you. Before I met you, I thought you were a jerk. And he's just like, well, why? It's like, well, I don't know, it's just the aura you put off.
yeah, I
Oh,
met him first at Worlds, at least to my memory, and he was pretty quiet. And his, I think now wife, was also very quiet. But just also messaging with him and seeing him again at nationals this year, and I have to say I am in awe of his photo and camera and so forth skills. So he's just actually cool.
have you seen their engagement photo?
I have not. I used to be really bad about keeping up with social media, and I've gotten better, but I still have my times where I haven't kept up.
Yeah, he had like they went out to the middle of the desert. It was dark. He had someone piloting his drone above them, shining a light down on him, and then someone probably about 20 feet away taking a photo
Oh
of
wow.
him getting down on his knee and everything. And it's still like one of my favorite photos I've ever seen in my life. Just the way that he did it, it was just perfect.
Well, that makes I'm gonna have to go look at it now.
Yeah, definitely. So, where do you see competitive facial hair going in the next few years?
um, it's hard to tell with the effects of COVID. I think before there was a lot of opportunity both nationally and locally to really grow competitive beery. And I know that there were a lot of competitions going on same weekends and so forth, but they were also a lot more local and allowing the local clubs and even regionals to reach out to people. And even if some of the big ones didn't get as much attention or the profits, those local pieces were, whether it be, $1,000 that goes to a charity, and you get 10 charities around the nation, or one that's got $2,000 going somewhere. I think that was both a pro and a con of what was going on. Now with COVID, I really thought it would die a little, and I know people are getting tired of the online competitions, but I also think it's upped the game of a lot of people, because they have 5 opportunities within 6 weeks to actually do something, and a lot of the guys are getting into the freestyle. A lot of the craft beards, now we're seeing the guys compete in the craft beards because of us doing the chopped. We've got more guys signed up than females, and that makes me excited, because I feel like that's what our purpose has been with the Craft Whisker Club. Doesn't matter what, whether you're a guy, girl, 5 years old. I'm about to turn 50, so you can count 50-year-olds. But it's really opened that up, and we're seeing them actually compete online and in person. And that makes me really excited. So it's all over the board. In 6 months, we may have a better idea, but right now I think we're doing a lot of what's today going on. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember seeing all the guys do like one of the beard mob competition a couple weeks
Yes.
ago. They had a category where men were doing the
Uh-huh.
craft beards.
It was amazing.
And so in Sacramento, I did a wind chime in my beard,
Uh-huh.
and I was in freestyle, but I would have been in the craft
Right.
category if I did it. But I'm never putting that wind chime in my beard ever again. There's no way.
Yeah, I know that a lot of the freestyle you can put stuff in your beard, but when you get to creative, you are going to have that weight. Very few beards are light in the creatives. So I always encourage guys, don't worry about your beard, using your actual beard. Go with the base, go with the traditional kind of creative Whiskerina style. I'm not real fond of the Whiskerina anymore. I think when you're using it to an individual, to a female that creates a craft, it's excellent. But as far as the whole craft bearding, it's really becoming a community in and of itself. So,
Well, I'm not changing the name of this because I plan on only interviewing Whiskerinas.
that's cool.
Like, I'm not going to
That's
interview
awesome.
Anthony Cardi and be like, hey, you were a Whiskerina last. No, like, I'll interview him later in another category.
Yeah, I think that really is fine because, like I said, well, even my Instagram is TX Whiskerina because I feel like as a female, I still am a Whiskerina, but I do craft bearding, as a, I guess, category maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, as it's evolving, it is becoming its
right.
own
Mm-hmm.
category. So I've got some would you rather questions for you.
Oh, excellent.
So would you rather have all dogs try to attack you when they see you, or all birds try to attack you when they see you?
I'm going to go with birds because I've actually been bitten in a dog fight and they terrify me. I'm not terrified of dogs, but so I'll take the birds.
All right, would you rather be compelled to high five everyone you meet, or be compelled to give wedgies to anyone wearing a green shirt?
High five. Wedgies is a little too personal for me. I'm not going to reach down there to pull a wedgie.
Would you rather have skin that changes color based on your emotions, or tattoos appear all over your body depicting what you did yesterday?
I might as well go with the skin changing colors because my facial expressions give it away anyway. I'm not a very good poker face.
All right, would you rather there be a perpetual water balloon war going on in your city, or a perpetual food fight?
Oh man. I kind of want to go with food fight, and the bizarre quirky part of me is I'm a huge Minions fan. You can see some of them. I've got my comp bag there, but my Minions behind me. And the new movie, apparently they've got a big food fight in it. And so I can't wait to see it, but I think I'm going to go with a food fight.
Okay, and the last one. Would you rather 30 butterflies instantly appear from nowhere every time you sneeze, or one very angry squirrel appear from nowhere every time you cough?
Oh, the butterflies.
Yeah, butterflies are definitely like, I can handle butterflies. An angry squirrel, you might get rabies or God knows
Well,
what.
I would end up carrying a gun and shooting said squirrel if I were to choose that. I'm a big fan of a gun called the Judge, and it's made for small varmints like that when I use it. So I'd take care of, but the butterflies would be cool.
The Judge sounds kind of like a revolver style
It
shotgun.
is. Uh-huh. It's exactly that.
It is.
Yes. Yeah, yep. And you can shoot 410 shotgun shells in it. So
I I used to have a 410 22 over under barrel,
uh-huh.
and I loved that gun. And then my apartment got broken into and all my guns were stolen.
Yeah, I love the Judge. It's being the country, you usually have a million guns, and yes, we do, and I love it. And to me, like house protection, that kind of thing, the shotgun was just more than I wanted to really heft. And so the Judge is it's loud and it's got a kick, but it's so much more fun. Not much remains after you use it.
So, do you have anything going on in the next few weeks you want to talk about?
Sure. Well, we've got Monday, we've got the Beard Battle number 6. We've got Daniel Howland and Erica Wiles that are battling it out. That's 7 p.m. Central Time. And it's I think Natalie, Aaron, and Scott Score are going to host for that show. I'm going to be on vacation in Montana. So I might get into the show and log in, but I can't promise because we're really going into nature and going to Yellowstone, doing some whitewater rafting, just some really fun stuff. And just part of me disconnects from technology when we're on vacation. That's one of the things I really typically like about our vacations. So I might show up, I might not. And I look forward to the battles, every other Monday night, just to watch and prepare and that kind of thing. But other than that, we don't really have much because of the COVID stuff. We can't go to as many comps and that kind of thing. So it's a little slow on that front.
Well, thanks again for doing this, Tisha. It was great talking to you.
Thank you, Dylan, for asking me. I'm very honored and humbled.
Oh, it's just a fun little thing to do. Like, I figure that nobody's doing interviews like this. Like, people are like doing live stream interviews,
Right.
but they're just like primarily talking about facial hair stuff. So I wanted to go a little bit more in depth and ask you a couple other questions that didn't have anything to do.
Well, it's been
Beard
fun. Yeah. You made me think about which one I would choose. Would you rather? That was a pretty good one.
All right. Well, have fun on your trip this weekend.
Well, thank you, sir. And
you have
keep that baby. I know from your interviews or from our discussion Monday night, wasn't it? That your toys up there. You gotta look at that baby like, oh, I made that one.
Oh, I look at him every day and go, I made that. All right. Well, you have a good one.
You too.
Enjoy your friends coming over.
Oh, yes, definitely. They're
All
the
right.
ones we're traveling with, so we're going to plan the vacation, I think.
All right. Well, have fun, and I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Dylan.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So that was Tisha Clinkenbeard. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them down below if you want to see anybody interviewed. Other than that, have a good night.